Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita on Bolly 92.3 FM. Hope you all are having a wonderful weekend here. And I'll start with a quote of an author here who said that nobody can fully understand the meaning of love unless he's owned a dog. A dog can show you more honest affection with a flick of his tail than a man can gather through a lifetime of handshakes. And I do agree with that. And I do have a guest today who's not just a pretty face, but also has a very, very compassionate heart. She is the founder of Positive Sanctuary for Distressed Stray Dogs in Amritsar, Punjab, India. And I would love to warmly welcome Amita Seth on Off the Cuff. Welcome, Amita, to my show.
Thank you so much, Namrita. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And Amita Seth was born and raised in India, but moved to Canada 23 years ago. Since then, she has not only been a proud Canadian, but also won Mrs. South Asia Canada pageant in 2018, so not so far back. Uh, she's a professional accountant, but acting is her passion. So, Amita, I know acting is your passion, but right now I think saving lives has become your passion, and you're doing such wonderful work through Positive Sanctuary. So tell me, what triggered you to open up the shelter for stray dogs in Amritsar? It's such a fulfilling endeavor, I must say.
It is. It is. I don't know where to start. I never planned for this, to be quite honest.
Oh,
I was born and raised in India, and like every other, like I was never cruel to dogs, but I was not very comfortable, you know. I would feed them, but I would stay, a little behind because when I was a teenager, not even at 10 years old, actually. I was almost 10 years old,
mm,
and a stray dog bit me. So since then, I had that fear
oh,
that, okay, I'm not gonna go close to, like, if my friend had a dog, she would have to, lock him in the room, and then I will go to her house. So
okay.
that's how bad it was because of that bite. So we moved to India. I mean, we moved to Canada 23 years ago. I have two daughters, and our younger daughter finished high school,
Mm,
and she had been begging for a dog since she was in grade 4, and we got her a hamster. So she wasn't very happy, but I said, "This is it. This is the most you can get."
no,
Um, but after she finished her grade 12, she said, "If you don't get me a dog now, I'm gonna go away to the university. Like I'm not gonna stay at home." So I said, "No, no, 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 that's not gonna happen yet. Okay, okay, I'll get you a dog. I'll get you whatever you want to, right?" So yeah, so she saw, and I was so naive in this rescue world about this rescue that I did not know that you could actually go to local shelters and adopt a dog.
yes. Mm,
Uh, like I had no knowledge, nothing at all. So when we got a dog for her, I did not touch that little fur ball for like 7 days or so, and that was the beginning.
mm,
And gradually, with his love, I felt that our family is coming closer to. We will spend more time together. And every time I would come home from work, he's the only one greeting me at the door. He's so happy.
and-
So now he's like my son, right? So after all that happened, I fell in love with him, and everything was going smooth. I went for a wedding in India, in Amritsar, India, in 2019. Um, I I just, could not stand the condition of the stray dogs there. Like in every stray dog's face, I would say see my baby Snowy's face.
yes.
And I went. My husband said, "Let's go for a walk, for old time's sake." And we went for a walk. In 15 minutes of walk, I saw 3 dogs dying in front of my eyes. I couldn't do anything. I felt so helpless.
Mm,
There was no shelter in Amritsar at all. There was no private vet
oh,
who would keep your dog even overnight.
Okay. Wow.
So there was no, and this is the city I'm talking about. This city has over 50,000 stray dogs.
Wow.
So, like, malnourished, dehydrated, cruelty victims. I saw so much in that trip, that instead of enjoying the wedding, I kept crying every day.
Mm.
And then I told my husband, I said, I want to do something for them, even if it's little, but it will be something. Something is better than nothing. So yeah, so then I opened this shelter,
Mm.
met some people online. A lot of people ripped me off too,
Oh,
thinking that, oh, well, she's sitting in Canada. What does she know, right?
yeah.
So eventually you figure out, right? But by God's grace,
Mm.
in 3 years, we have a full-fledged shelter going on. I have a wonderful, wonderful team of 21 people there.
Oh,
I have in-house pet vet. As a matter of fact, when you take your pet to the hospital these days, or a vet there, they
mm.
refer us for
Oh,
overnight care.
lovely.
Yeah, they'll say that, oh, if you want your dog to get better, take him to
Mhm.
Positive Sanctuary. So yeah, so we have in-house staff of like 21 people. Out of 21, 10 people live on the premises. So
Okay.
we have overnight staff too. We have almost 190 dogs
Wow.
on rescue side. Um, Out of them, 45 are paralyzed, hit and run cases.
Mm.
15 are tripods that we got the surgeries done because they were accident victims.
Mm.
7 blind. So basically, the idea is that we have a helpline
Mm.
number,
Okay.
and people call us if they see a dog in distress,
Okay.
and then our team goes and rescues. So if the dog has get when dog gets better and
Mhm.
healthy, we neuter and spay. And
Okay.
if the dog has a feeder or caretaker, we
Mm.
leave them back under their care.
Okay.
If that dog does not have any caretaker or feeder, we
Mm.
do not leave them back on the streets.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm.
we try to get them adopted.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, any disabled dog, any kind of disability,
Mm.
they are our permanent family members. So yeah, so it's time consuming. It's very you know disheartening to see that condition every day. Uh, but at the end of the day, when you see that you picked up somebody from the road
Mm.
and he or she was dying, and now he's better because of your efforts, it's rewarding. It's so rewarding.
Sure, I'm sure. I can't believe from being scared of dogs to openly,
Yeah,
you know, uh,
yeah.
taking.
Never ever imagined,
Yeah,
never thought that
what a
I would do something like that.
what a
But
journey.
yeah, I always knew I wanted to do something
Yeah.
for others. I always knew that life needs to have a purpose. That much I knew. I
Yeah.
just could not find that purpose
Mm.
until this whole shelter thing happened. And
Yeah.
now I know that I don't miss that void. I
Yeah.
don't try to fill my void with materialistic things. Now I know what do I need to do. So
Yeah, and you come from a world which is so physical and materialistic, being in a
yeah,
pageant, and very show oriented, and you're doing this, which is so wonderful, and and dogs do this to you, with their unconditional
yeah,
love. I think I was a dog
that's so
owner too,
true.
so they
So
they just
true.
change you, they change you, and this
Yeah.
what can I say? They're just wonderful beings, I have to say. You did talk about, when you started it, because you were in Canada and this shelter you started in 2019 in Amritsar, and you did a lot
Right.
of things online. So, what were the challenges you faced when you started this?
A a lot of challenges. I had a lot of sleepless nights and miserable days, let's put it this way.
Okay.
I was at the verge of uh, closing everything, shutting everything down. It was not because of dogs, it was because of people.
Yes.
It was because of people, how they, try to. I did not have any donation support. I was doing everything from my pocket.
Hmm.
My husband supported me, fully. So it was like very discouraging to see. I did not know. I know there is a lot of corruption in every field
Mm.
in India, but I did not know that animal welfare too is a part of that. I did not know that people could rip you off in the name of animals.
Oh, okay.
So when I started it, I thought, oh, I speak the language, I understand the mindset, oh, everything will be okay, no problem, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
But that was not true. I had really, really tough time. But with my family's support, my husband and my daughters, they said, no, you got to do it. You started it, you got to do it. Uh, there is so, you know, they kept pushing me, and then yeah, and look, like we have a completely uh, you know, equipped shelter infrastructure, and we on the side project we're neutering and spaying um, almost 300 dogs, 3 to 400 dogs every month,
Okay.
with the help of another organization. It's called Animal Welfare Charitable Trust,
Mm.
and yeah, and between two of us,
Mm.
that is just neuter and spay program, because that is the root cause.
Yes.
That is the root cause.
Very.
So we focus on that too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So there were challenges, and because of COVID, you know, I could not fly to India.
Yeah.
So it was just okay. There's only that much I could do. I wish if I were there and I
Mm.
would have dealt with people in person.
Absolutely.
So over phone, you know, you don't have much power or control of what they're doing to you or your dogs or your staff, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
So, but everything is
Yeah,
great
good,
now,
good.
they
And you
said.
told me, like, you stay awake and you have cameras there and you check on what's going on. So kudos
We
to
have 20 cameras right
yes.
now, and my
Absolutely.
cousin, actually, I convinced her. I said I cannot trust anybody for finances, because this is what happened in the past. So she's involved.
Yeah.
So I'm at peace now that, you know, she's going to the shelter.
Mm.
Money control is in under her, so
Very,
she checks everything. She looks after everything. So that's a big help. That's a big help.
very true.
And
And
I've
then,
tried to go now to India twice a year.
oh, lovely.
And before I was like, I was not never going to India. Like I did not go to India. I hardly went back to India in 20 years. I went back to India three
Oh,
times. So
oh,
yeah, I had no attachment, and but now because of shelter, I just want to go twice, three times. If given a chance, I would stay there for 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
oh, lovely. They are your babies
So
now. So
yeah, they are my babies. Yeah, they're
so
my
good you
babies.
talked about corruption, and I would love to, I would want to tell the audience that be aware of fake profiles. There's so many
Yeah,
fake profiles on social media, which Amita talked about earlier, and
yeah,
don't just donate. Make sure that, they are genuine, and then only, open your heart to
yeah,
donations, I'll say. So be very
yeah.
about that
Yeah,
also.
it's your hard-earned money. You know, you want it to go to the right cause. Like just few days back, a friend of mine reached out to me and she said, "Hey, I saw this animal welfare group in Uganda, but this is your dog." So what they were doing, they were taking the pictures and videos
Hmm.
from our social media handle. They
Wow.
made their own page,
They
and same dogs, same names, everything. And I said, holy wow, you know, people
absolutely
have nerve to, yeah, people are not scared to scam
scared.
you. That's, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So now, Amita,
yeah.
tell me how can people help? How can people in the US, help with donations or in any other way? Yeah, yeah, all about that.
Yeah, so when we started, our nonprofit was registered only in India,
Mm.
but gradually, you know, people started to support us.
Mm-hmm.
So we just starting this year, we got our charity registered in Canada
Mm.
as well as the US. So we are 501(c)(3) charitable charity in the US, and nonprofit in Canada too.
Okay.
So which means if people donate their money, we can issue the tax receipts.
Okay.
And not only that, because when you are registered, you are, I would say, legit, because
Yes.
you have to, maintain your books to every penny.
Mm.
And then that, otherwise, I don't know, like, much about, I'm sure it'll be the same, but in Canada, CRA is very, very strict about
Okay.
how every penny is being spent.
Means can.
So to help our to give something, to our donors as a thank you, we registered our charities. So there's a way that you can do donate uh,
Oh, yes.
money.
Okay.
And then we have a Amazon wish list too in our social media bio. So
Mm.
Amazon India, we need a lot of pee pads, leashes, collars, shampoos, medicines,
Yeah.
dog beds, dog jackets. So we're always in need of that kind of stuff too. And you can volunteer. So lately, in past 1 year, we had almost 20 visitors uh, who actually went to Amritsar
Wow.
from New Zealand, Australia,
Yeah.
Canada, US, yeah, lot of places, UK. So they go there and they volunteer. So you can
Wow.
devote your time, you can donate money, or you can send items to our shelter.
Lovely, lovely. And I will say that please go to positivesanctuary.com. Positive as in Pawsitive, pause. Sanctuary. They are doing wonderful work. And yeah, but, what about cross-border adoptions? Do you guys do that also?
Yeah, we did that. So if we put an adoption post, people reach out to us and they say, "Hey, well, this dog stole my heart.
Mm.
Is there any way I can, fly him?" So we fly the dogs to you.
Oh, okay.
Um, in that case, I don't charge any adoption fee or anything, because to me, a dog is getting a lovely family. That's all I care about.
Oh.
Uh, but yeah, the adopter does help with the commute charges.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we flew 5 dogs to the US,
Oh.
and 30 dogs got adopted in Toronto
Mm-hmm.
and Nova Scotia and PEI Canada.
Lovely.
So we flew 30 dogs. We
Yeah.
got them. So we find an adopter first, and then we fly the dog. Yeah. But at
Okay.
the same time, we know that this is not possible. We're not going to fly our whole shelter
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really practical.
Mm.
Shelters in North America are getting pretty full too, right? So we
Yes.
have to consider that too. It's just one case in, like, 50 dogs. If when we post an adoption post and somebody falls in love with that dog,
Yes.
so then we fly the dog.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
easy also, and that's what I've seen. And I think you can also sponsor a dog for a year. That would be much easier if you,
Yes.
especially for
Yes.
people who love dogs but cannot afford to have a dog
Yeah.
or don't have the time. Because I will tell
Yeah.
everybody, if you can't give time to your pet, then
Exactly.
do not
Do
get it,
not. Yeah. Yeah.
or
No,
pet.
that's true.
So I think this
That's
is a
true.
lovely way to sponsor. They have
Yeah.
sponsorship programs. Go to the website again and maybe sponsor a dog. And you know what I've seen from
Yeah.
your social handles, the videos are heartbreaking. I cannot
Yeah. It
watch them,
is.
Amita. It's just I have to, just look away because these dogs are
I
in
know.
distress. They are deeply wounded and critically in pain, I'll say, all the. And your workers and are doing such amazing work. So मेरे से तो ये देखा नहीं जा रहा है because I don't know,
I know.
but
I
you
know, but
mentioned.
Namrita
हाँ,
ji, I always feel sorry to cut you, but I always feel कि अगर मैं भी देखना बंद कर दूं या मेरे
हाँ,
जैसे और लोग भी देखना बंद कर दें,
बिल्कुल
तो फिर क्या होएगा? You know,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
like my heart is so used to be so weak
हाँ,
that I could not take my kids when they were little to
yes,
the doctor for vaccination. I
yeah,
could not see that needle going in their body. That's how bad it was for me.
very true.
But now I feel, no, if I want to do this, if I want to change life, if I want to rescue, I have no choice but to see. So
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that point, by the way, sponsoring a dog. And we're the one actually who introduced virtual adoption program
Okay.
in India for the dogs. So you
Mm-hmm.
can actually adopt a dog virtually for like $30 or $40 or $50 a month, and
Wow.
then we make sure to send you weekly or biweekly updates. And then with that money, not only goes towards that dog, it buys the toys and treats and beds and medicines if needed, but whatever is left over, that's being used for the shelter for the other dogs.
Okay.
So we do have that program in place, so if somebody wants to reach out to us, I'll be happy to explain.
Absolutely, and I will put up your email and everything on the post.
Thank
One
you.
more question in the end is, Amita, you are a beauty pageant winner, and you dreamed of having an acting career, but now that's on a back burner because of family and because of Positive Sanctuary. How do you feel about that, and how has life changed for you with this kind of work?
Honestly, Namrata ji, I don't actually um, think anymore. Like
Oh.
I'm like nonstop. Like I wake up at 5:30, catch up with my shelter, and then until noon and 1 o'clock, I'm like in on calls. People are calling me from India. Oh, save this dog, save that dog, right? So
Mm,
I'm dealing with that. Then I start my own accounting work.
mm,
Thank God I'm a freelancer, so it's like, and I when I have deadlines, yes, of course, I'm there. I My clients have been with me for past like 11, 12 years, so
mm,
they know now. They know that she's rescuing, so she's busy, but she'll make sure the deadlines are being met.
mm.
But that acting passion, you're right, it hasn't died inside, to be
Okay.
quite honest.
Yeah.
So I always feel, okay, you know what, one day I'm gonna get to this. This is like, okay, now shelter is going smoothly, now staff is lined up, now is the time that I can pay attention to myself a little bit. It's like your baby when you're a new mom.
Yes.
Your child is your priority, right? As he grows older, then okay, now you can work out, now you can pay attention to yourself, now you can go get your nails done. Like, I didn't get my nails done in 4 years. Like, I was like,
Exactly.
okay, yeah, that's $60. No, I'm gonna keep it for my shelter. That will. So this is how I did this shelter thing. My husband and I spent $60,000 from our savings, um, and paid for the construction of the shelter.
Mm,
So yeah, so this is one of its own kind, in Punjab.
very
The
cool.
construction wise, the resources wise,
Mm,
everything. We have an ambulance, we have an e-rickshaw to go to the narrow streets,
yeah.
and pick up the dogs. Yeah, so we're working hard. All of us are working hard. My ground team is absolutely wonderful. They work hard day and night, and here I'm hustling, to pay the bills, to make money, to collect donations, to do the network, with the donors and stuff. So yeah, so I'm like nonstop working on this, except when I'm sleeping. My husband is like, sometimes, I wish if I were a dog in my next life in Amritsar, at least you'll pay attention to me. That was like, oh my God, I did not know
Oh, I,
if I
I,
should cry, or if I should be sad for him, or if I should laugh. It was so like,
I know, but they're
so
always there,
yeah,
as a
yeah,
support, I have to say. But,
yeah,
your story is so inspiring, Amita, and, how priorities change, from
yeah,
being a beauty
for
queen.
sure,
Yeah, and
for
I am
sure.
sure, one day you will get to it. We all do because, but keep that passion burning, and you can definitely do something with the sanctuary, a
Yeah.
documentary, because this is such a wonderful work and a wonderful place for people to know that, or India, maybe India jati hu, and every
Mm-hmm.
time I see a stray dog, it breaks my heart. And now
Yeah.
we become more, I think empathetic. Earlier on, we never gave much thought because in India, like you said, a dog bit you. We always were scared of stray dogs because the
Yeah,
image is that they are aggressive, they will attack. But when you come here, it you change, especially when you
yeah,
have a pet. And I just
yeah,
hope everybody everywhere, not just in India, look at stray dogs differently. I know it's difficult because there's a lot of abuse, a um, lot of stuff going on in India. Can't even mention
yeah.
that, and
I know.
places. So
I know. It's heartbreaking. I always say if you can't help them, leave them alone. Don't hurt them. Like
absolutely,
every
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
On an average, I hear or read or see one absolute worst case of
Oh,
cruelty in India, dog cruelty.
mm, mm.
I have a rape victim. A 6-month-old dog was raped by a 60-year-old man in Amritsar. I have victims who were acid attacked, who had
Oh,
acid attack, hot hot oil,
oof.
burning to death. Like they just light the fire and kill them. Shooting, stabbing, beating them to death is so common. Poisoning is so common.
Point.
So that's not the solution for, especially for our Indian Sanskriti, Indian culture. Like everybody looks up to us,
Uh,
people in Western countries are adapting to Indian, like
mm,
kirtan, yoga. Like it's such a rich culture that we had, but
mm,
we're ruining it now. But it's all in the books now.
mm.
It's like if you cannot help them,
Leave them
leave
alone.
them
I
alone.
think best,
And the
best.
only humane solution is to get them neutered and spayed. There
Okay.
is no other solution at this. So
Abs-
governments should, run an effective animal birth control program.
Okay.
People who are feeders, they need to get neuter spay their community dogs.
Mm.
And that's the only way we can control the population. And both humans and dogs can live happily. That's the only way.
Definitely, definitely, and that can great advice, and uh, to end the show with. And a lot of people are having pets now, so I think mindsets are changing in India. यहाँ पर तो है ही है.
Yes.
So hopefully things will change for the better. There
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so there are different organization. One I read about Voice of Stray Dogs called VOST Sanctuary in Bangalore. They're also doing wonderful work.
Yes.
So there are
Yes.
different organizations,
Yes.
and please check out
Yeah.
Positive Sanctuary. Definitely, I'll urge everybody. I hope you can sponsor a dog there. Go and check out the list, or go on the Amazon Amazon India and help them in whatever possible way. Amita, it was my pleasure talking to you and knowing about your work. And I wish you the very best. Maybe if I go to Amritsar, I'm from Shimla, तो पास है वैसे रास्ते में. I definitely would love
Zarur.
to. हाँ,
Anytime.
ज़रूर. Yeah, I'd love to check out the sanctuary.
Anytime.
And you take care.
Thank you so
Be
much,
well.
Namrita. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be on this show. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye bye.
Shosha is a creative Indian restaurant located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Shosha is a woman-owned business that serves traditional Indian flavors assimilated with molecular gastronomy techniques. The best Indian bar with happy hours in the Bay Area serves handcrafted drinks inspired by flavors from India with modern craft cocktails that are presented in unique ways. Shosha is a modern take on traditional Indian cuisine. We specialize in corporate luncheon, anniversary celebrations, birthday parties, and catering. Do check us out for a memorable modern Indian dining experience. Shosha is located at 141 South Murphy Avenue in Sunnyvale, California.